Hey, Donald Miller here. Donald Miller's Electrical Services. So I have a new camera, so bear with me. I'm trying to figure this thing out. But welcome, tip of the day. It's February, and it is the 11th. Okay. Um. So I'm gonna just read off of a comment about a suggestion on hiring new guys. It's multi questions. As a business owner, trying to find good guys, um, when to let them lead a crew. So each one of these, it depends on your business. Like it depends on what field you're in. Like I can't give advice for a commercial guy if I'm not doing commercial. I've done commercial and my guys do commercial, but each business, that's the one good thing about owning a business. Yes, we're all electricians, so there is that framework, but we can all run businesses differently where I'm going to reward quality work, being on time, putting tool bags on, where someone else might reward just making them money any way possible, just getting it done and making the money. And I've heard that statement multiple times where I don't care how you get it done, you just get it done. There's owners out there that are like that. So you need to be weary of that type of situation. As far as how do you find good guys, um a lot of times it's like you have the job interview, all right, but when you get them on site, like I like to watch their hands, how they hold their tools. Um, there's a certain fluidness from a guy that's held his linemen's or dikes for thousands of hours versus a guy that's only held them for a couple hundred. So that's usually how I determine. And also when they're put into a situation and you see what judgment call they made, and that again determines if he's a good guy for your company. You have to put them in the heat. You gotta throw them into the fire, okay, and see what judgments they make while they're in there, okay, and that's gonna determine like your view upon him. If he works out for you, that's great. If he's making judgment calls you don't like, you gotta pull him aside. Um, the one thing I don't like is when we're devising out a property and a guy decides to start stabbing into the back of switches and outlets. I don't like that. I personally just, it drives me up a wall. There's no reason you should sacrifice the quality of a device just to gain speed, and that's what stabbing does. When you wrap a screw correctly with a wide flathead, you get a very good tight bond from the wire to the screw. And no, don't use a Phillips head screwdriver. You don't get a good torque on it. Okay, you need a wide flat, and that's another reason why guys that are, I want to say, tradesmen in this trade, their wide flathead is gonna be very nice, like never beat with. Okay, as a tradesman, I have tools I beat with, and I have tools I don't beat with. And usually, when I'm devising out, I don't want tools that I beat with, okay? Because it's dangerous. One, if you have a tool that has rounded edges and you're bearing some torque down onto it, from experience, you'll stab your hand. And if you're bearing down hard enough, they're deep. They're deep gouges, and they don't go away overnight. Like your hand's gonna be sore for a while. Um, and these are all things that are learned over time. It's not something you pick up over like. That's why the training for these trades, it takes time. You have to allow it to take time. You don't learn a skilled trade overnight. And that's why people that learn the skilled portion of the trade get rewarded. Okay, guys that just come into this trade for a job, they're not going to be rewarded. They'll have a job, but what we're looking like out of, if we have 100 guys, okay, maybe 10 of them are truly gifted, okay, out of the 100, okay, and out of the 100, maybe 20 of them are truly employable, okay. The other 80 we see potential, but they're not 100% put together yet. They're employable, like, don't get me wrong, they have a job, but it's only due to their potential, okay? And that's why when we pull guys aside to have a talk with them, we explain their potential, but they have to act upon it. And this action is what people don't understand. Like, taking action is difficult. You have to not only get out of your comfort zone, but you have to go in the direction that you're being asked to go. And that's why only truly 10 out of that 100 are gifted, because they understand what's being asked of them and they know how to excel towards a destination. And if you can master that, you can go anywhere you want in this trade. You can go underneath a commercial guy, figure out what the commercial guy wants, and excel. Residential, figure out the quality the residential guy wants, excel. If a tradesman is gifted, doesn't matter what field of electric he gets put in, he will thrive. He will adapt. He will figure out what's needed of him, and he'll take over. All right. So that's what we're always looking for, is someone that's gifted, that wants to do what we do. It's not just the guys that enter into our field that just want a job. Like, they'll have a job, but they're not gonna be on the upper end of the pay scale, is the best way to put it. All right. Let me see what else they asked for here. So pay rates are all different, okay? You can't, like, especially if you're watching this and you're in California, I don't have a clue what your mechanics are making out there. It's just as much as, like, around here, mechanics make anywhere from 175 upwards of 500 a day. There's that big of a difference in your scale. So it's hard to, now getting raises. Getting raises are based on management and what the managers and the owners of the company expect of you. Okay, and then exceeding expectation to the point where they have to give you a raise because they don't want you to leave. Okay, that's really where your raises are going to come from. I anytime I got a raise, it's because I not only did what was asked of me, I took it to the next level, and they were impressed. And it's almost like I forced a raise upon me. I didn't have to ask for it. It was demanded. They almost had to give me money, or I was gonna leave. All right, so that's how I always performed my raises. I did more than what was expected of me, to the point where I had to be compensated. All right. As far as when do you start running crews? You start running crews when you know what every position on that job has to do, and you can do every position. If you can do every position, okay, then when you're a manager, you can then delegate to each position. All right. And you can run a crew and have a position that you can run a crew with a guy that's more talented than you are. That's managing a crew doesn't necessarily mean you're the most talented on that site. Managing a crew means you know where to delegate the most talented, okay? And oftentimes the manager isn't the most talented. sometimes the most talented electrician needs to get put on the hardest thing, and they can't manage other people. So you give them the hardest, and then maybe the second tier or the third tier manages the site, and the talent is actually doing the work. All right. So again, it goes back to the job, the type of work it is, and what type of staff you have on site. That's the best I got for you today. That's a long tip of the day. Um, and as far, let me see. And as a business owner trying to find good guys, it's like our number one problem is finding decent guys. There's there's guys out there that are jumping around, but to find a guy that wants to stay with you for 5 or 10 years, we invest in him and he invests in us, and it's a mutual relationship that goes above and beyond pay. When you get a guy that's comfortable with your company, that wants to help you grow, that's where pay can get, you can really gain some wealth as an employee if you're at that position. Anytime you're an employee and you're talented and you want to help a company grow, you really should go into management and start talking to them, okay? Because they'll start looking at you more, and they'll start relying on you more. But that also puts you into a different scale of pay, and how are they going to compensate for that loyalty? All right, so God bless. It's Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday. And I don't have the remote for this camera, so I have to turn it off like this.